Really, by the light of public pressure, you'll get your daughter back, and hopefully that will be the case.
Well, yes, sir, and I don't mean to cut you off, and please keep your train of thought so you can continue on that thought, but I wanted to speak on the public pressure bit for a moment, because I had actually, after DCYF had contacted Stephanie and I and refused for me to visit with, said it was okay for Stephanie to visit with her, but refused to allow me to visit with her. I immediately got on the phone with Mr. Alex Jones.
Hold on, Jonathan. We'll be going to break, folks, and we'll be right back with Johnathan Irish. Oh, yeah! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Vinny Eastwood Show with Will. It's hard to keep your sense of humour about all this. Me being the man who makes fun of everything, I think I've lost it with this show. No, but seriously though, Johnathan Irish on the line here. Jonathan, I'd actually like to thank you for having the courage to stand up and fight about all this and come on the shows, as you have been doing, to talk about this. And we were talking about public pressure, and I think that it's already too late for child paedophile services. The public pressure has already built up beyond their control, and I firmly believe you'll get your daughter back very soon. Now, I'd just like you to please continue on as you were before the break.
Well, as I was saying, about not even an hour. Matter of fact, I had just gotten off the phone with the DCYF workers when they told me I couldn't visit with my daughter yesterday. And I immediately called Mr. Alex Jones, and he almost immediately put me on, because he was doing a radio show with Mr. Stuart Rhodes, and put me on to give them an update. And not even 24 hours after I made it known, or with the help of Mr. Jones and Mr. Rhodes, made it known what they said about not allowing me to visit with my daughter without a reason or any kind of suspicion at all, other than just a blank, vague reason of, there's a security risk and a safety concern. As I said, they called and but honestly, butter could have melted in their mouths this morning when they called to have us come to visitation with our daughter. Yeah, and I honestly feel that is largely credited to, if not fully credited to, Mr. Jones and Mr. Rhodes, and everyone who has taken the time to have us on their shows and to interview us and to find out what is going on, to bring this information to light, and as you said, to put pressure on them to stop their illegal actions and their illegal kidnapping. And
it can't stop here, because it's one case, and I'm sure you know that it happens to so many families in the United States, and indeed similar things are happening all over the world with child trafficking rings, stuff like that. And we love Alex Jones and all the things that he does, and it turns out that many of our affiliates, even George Heminger, our man on the street in California, has done videos about this. So it is certainly permeating quite consistently through activist circles and getting into the public eye. My personal thoughts on this is that pursuant to getting your daughter back, once we've got her back, and hopefully that'll be very, very soon, with these slimy, cowardly scumbags curling up under the light of public pressure, I think you'll get her back, and then we need to use that incident as a wedge to drive it into the public consciousness that this isn't an isolated incident, it's happening everywhere. And this is kind of what happens, I find, with terrible incidents like this. and we're doing this in New Zealand, is that the more people that come out, the more coverage you get of individual cases, it blows the lids on the greater picture for people, and that's what I really love to see. If I can even call that, it might be a bit insensitive, but it's a shame that terrible things have to happen in order for something good to happen.
Mr. Heminger, yes, Mr. Heminger was the first to call and interview me in regards to this matter. I know there's a lot of controversy of some of the wording that I chose, and to be quite honest, any parent who would sit here and say, they could be the most well-spoken individual who has never cussed in or sworn in their life. If this had happened to anyone else, if they were to sit here and say they wouldn't be livid, to say the least, and use some choice words, they're lying. Also, Mr. Heminger, it was brought to my attention this morning that Mr. Heminger did an interview with Stephanie's ex-husband, my fiancée Stephanie's ex-husband, and he made some serious statements and allegations in there, which, it was expected for him to do this and to make those statements. First of all, he's not a veteran. He was I do not know if it was a dishonorable or an other than honorable. I do not know exactly what the discharge was. I would know it was not an honorable discharge. That's regardless to this point. He had made a statement. Mr. David Taylor, Stephanie's ex-husband, had made a statement that I fought him on his family's property. Well, to set the record straight, David Taylor raised his fist to a female in front of me, and I defended the female. All I did was subdued Mr. Taylor. Mr. Taylor also made false claims and false allegations against Stephanie to have I believe it was a personality disorder, as he referred to it as, which is a bald-faced lie. Regardless, even if it was true, Mr. Taylor is therefore violating what is called the HIPAA Act and the HIPAA law, which is the law protecting people's private health information. What he said is not true, but even if it was, he willfully made a felony offense, committed a felony offense by saying that, if it was true, which it's not. Also, Mr. Taylor, he also mentioned I'm a manipulator, and listen, he can say what he wants. Mr. Taylor also admitted that he is going to court for a hearing next month for violation of a protection order, which, again, he admitted himself, and the protection order Stephanie had against David. I attempted to contact Mr. Heminger today. Matter of fact, the minute my attention was brought to that interview, and he has still not returned my telephone call for whatever reason. I don't know. He may be busy, but I'm hoping he would return my call so that I can speak with him on that matter and in regards to Mr. Taylor. And there's quite a bit of information about Mr. Taylor and his background and his family's background, such as the fact his uncle was convicted of having a part in a high-profile murder case here in New Hampshire back in the early 1990s.
Well, this is a complex area, and we might not want to get into all of that. But like Johnathan, this show supports you 100%, and
thank you.
We can put this on YouTube if you want to. We can do whatever it takes. And we're glad that someone with the sway that Alex Jones has got has backed you 100% too, and this is going to be resolved, but
yes, it does.
In a larger scenario, it has to be resolved. People have got to realise that this is a so-called professional organisation, a state organisation, and all those big government lovers out there, have got to realise that this, with all the process and all the people involved, something so wrong has still occurred. Something so wrong.
Exactly,
and
it's
fundamentally wrong is wrong with the system.
Exactly, and it's just like, for instance, Mr. Barry Cooper, whose son was taken from him because Mr. Barry Cooper told his son not to trust the government. And DCYF and CPSW workers took Mr. Cooper's son away from him because he had told his son not to trust the government. That's just, again, that's not being able to think. You can't even think for yourself now.
This is insane. This is really insane. And anyone who thinks like this needs to absolutely piss off to China. Like, they need to get out of here. Like, this isn't what our forefathers fought for, is it? Is it, Jonathan?
No, it's not.
This isn't freedom. Yeah, I'm just real mad about this whole scenario, to be honest.
Yeah, and I'm surprised you've even got any composure at all there, Jonathan, because I'm sitting here and I'm virtual on tears listening to you, and I cannot imagine the type of pressure that you're under with this particular situation. I'm lost for words. I'm a radio host, and I'm lost for words. That's how terrible this situation is. And there'll be people in the public that say, oh, they're bad parents and all of that kind of stuff. These people really, really, I don't have any tolerance for people that try to make excuses for child kidnapping.
Yes, sir, and I appreciate your what you said about me keeping my composure, and the way I see it, Stephanie's having a hard enough time with this, and one of us needs to be able to, and trust me, it's hard not to be emotional about this. It is almost impossible, but it is possible because I'm doing it. One of us has to be able to speak with people to be able to not be fully emotional all the time, and be able to have a semi-level head in this situation to fight for our daughter, and not only our daughter, but to fight for any child who has been taken from their parents, to fight for any parent who is dealing with a situation like this where their child was wrongfully removed. Don't get me wrong, I wholeheartedly believe that if a child is being abused by parents or someone in the home, whether it be physically, sexually, whatever it may be, or if the child is not being cared for properly, or the living environments are not proper for a child, then by all means, the child deserves to be in a safe environment and deserves to be in a safe home. But I'd be one to put a number on it of about 90% of the children who are removed for unjust reasons and unfounded reasons.
Yeah, Jonathan, can I ask, do you think they've targeted you, CPS has targeted you because of your activist leanings, or do you think it's due to this incident with Mr. Taylor and perhaps he's been a big snitch or something or other?
I feel that both of those matters are a factor in this. It's obvious. Anyone who knows me, anyone who sees me driving down the street in my truck, clearly knows where I stand on my political views, and clearly knows what my opinion is of the Constitution and freedom. A lot of people have referred to me as a red, white, and blue-blooded patriotic American who loves his country and loves the Constitution. And his family most of all, and will do anything to fight for them to the bitter end. And even then, I won't stop fighting. And that's why these globalist garbage hate your guts. Exactly. That's why these CPS scum hate your guts. Yeah, I understand.
And in such a terrible situation, it actually, the bright light shining here, I feel, is that the actions that we're taking here, on this show, Alex Jones Show, and what's going on and happening to you at the moment, Jonathan,